A breast without a secret is an open letter. Balthasar Gracian wrote those words in the 17th century, yet they diagnosed the modern condition with terrifying precision. Most men move through the world as open letters, desperate to be read, desperate to be understood, and desperate to be validated. You believe that if you just explain yourself enough, if you just provide enough context, if you just show everyone your good intentions, then you will be safe. You believe that oversharing is a form of honesty, or perhaps a way to build rapport. But this is a lie. This compulsion to speak, to fill every silence with noise, to explain your actions before you have even taken them, is not a sign of friendliness. It is a sign of submission. It is a plea for safety. You are signaling to the tribe that you are harmless, that you have nothing to hide, and therefore you are of no threat. But in the realm of power, he who has no secrets has no power. When you open your mouth to spill your inner thoughts, you are not building connection. You are leaking value. You are handing the keys of your mind to anyone who has the patience to listen. The ancient Stoics and the masters of court intrigue understood a fundamental truth that the modern world has forgotten. Silence is not empty. Silence is a weapon. Epictetus, the crippled slave who became a master of philosophy, gave us a command that serves as the foundation of all command presence. Let silence be your general rule, or say only what is necessary and in few words. This is not just etiquette. This is survival. When you speak, you define yourself. You give form to your thoughts, and in doing so, you make them solid and attackable. A formless thought cannot be criticized, but a spoken word can be used against you. As Robert Greene warns us in the 48 Laws of Power, once the words are out, you cannot take them back. Every time you speak more than is necessary, you increase the surface area for your enemies to strike. You invite judgment. You invite contempt. Consider the dynamic of the nice guy. He is terrified of silence because silence creates tension. In that tension, he feels a crushing weight of judgment. He fears that if he does not speak, the other person might think he is angry or bored or aloof. And so he chatters, he jokes, he explains, he breaks the tension to make the other person comfortable. But look closely at what is happening here. Who is holding the frame? Who is reacting? The man who speaks to break the silence is the one who is reacting to the pressure of the moment. He is the one bleeding energy to stabilize the emotional atmosphere. He is the servant of the interaction, not the master of it. To reclaim your sovereignty, you must invert this dynamic. You must learn to leverage what we call the oracle effect. In ancient times, when men sought the oracle at Delphi, they were met with enigmatic words, vague, open-ended, sphinx-like. The oracle did not explain. The oracle did not justify. The oracle simply was. Because the oracle said little, the listeners had to fill in the gaps. They projected their own fears, their own desires, and their own interpretations onto the few words that were spoken. This is the mechanics of power. Humans are machines of interpretation. We have a compulsive need to know what others are thinking. When you deny people easy access to your thoughts, when you withhold the why behind your actions, you short-circuit their interpretative machinery. They cannot read you, and what they cannot read, they respect. What they cannot categorize, they fear. Robert Greene articulates this perfectly in Law 4. The more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control. Even if you are saying something brilliant, the sheer volume of words dilutes its impact. Conversely, even if you say something banal, it will seem original and profound if you make it vague and open-ended. The man of few words appears to be thinking thoughts that are too heavy to be spoken lightly. He appears to be in communion with a deeper reality. He has sovereign containment. He contains his own state. He does not need to externalize his internal world to feel real. This brings us to the concept of the void. In every conversation, there is a space between two people. The anxious man rushes to fill this space with himself. The strategic man allows the space to exist. He becomes a void, and nature abhors a vacuum. When you remain silent, you create a psychological pressure vacuum that the other person feels compelled to fill. If you simply look at someone, maintain eye contact, and say nothing, they will become anxious. They will start to talk, and they will keep talking. They will reveal things they never intended to reveal. They will tell you their secrets, their insecurities, their true intentions, all in a frantic attempt to get a reaction out of you. You become a mirror. By refusing to feed them your own reactions, you force them to look at themselves. You force them to project their own reality onto you. This is how you gather intelligence without asking a single question. This is how you win negotiations without making a single argument. As Greene notes, power is in many ways a game of appearances, and when you say less than necessary, you inevitably appear greater and more powerful than you are. The distinctiveness of your character is enhanced by the sparseness of your words. Louis XIV was terrified by no one, but he kept his courtiers terrified simply by listening to their urgent pleas and responding with a simple, "I shall see." He gave them nothing. He became a blank screen, and they projected their own terror onto him. But this is not just about manipulation. It is about self-preservation. Words are energy. Every time you engage in a frivolous debate, every time you defend your ego against a perceived slight, every time you try to convince a fool of your wisdom, you are depleting your spiritual battery. You are wasting the resources that should be directed toward your purpose. The Stoics teach us that attention is the most valuable currency we possess. To squander it on vulgar topics of conversation, as Epictetus warned, gladiators, horse races, or the business of other men, is to degrade your own mind. You must understand that silence is an aggressive act. It is not passive. It is a refusal to engage on terms that you have not set. It is a refusal to seek validation. When you explain yourself, you are essentially asking the other person to approve of your reasons. You are submitting your decision to their court of appeals. Stop doing this. A resolution declared is never highly thought of. Gratian warns us. It only leaves room for criticism if you tell people what you are going to do. You give them the chance to sabotage it, or at the very least, to doubt it. If you succeed, they will say it was expected. If you fail, you are doubly ridiculous. Keep your intentions written in cipher. Let your results be the only announcement you ever make. So how do we integrate this into the modern life? How do we kill the nice guy who is desperate to chatter? We begin with the pause. This is the protocol. For the next 7 days, I want you to institute a mandatory 3-second delay on every response you give. When someone asks you a question, wait. Count to 3 in your head. Look at them. Do not nod. Do not smile. Just look. In that 3 seconds, you will feel the urge to rush in, to please, to fix. Watch that urge. Let it die. Then answer succinctly. Cut your usual word count in half. If a simple yes or no will suffice, use nothing else. Furthermore, practice the art of the non-answer. When someone probes for information that they have not earned, when they ask, "Why did you do that?" or "What are you thinking?" do not feel compelled to give them the truth. You can offer a shrug. You can offer a vague aphorism. You can offer silence. You must become comfortable with the feeling of being misunderstood. This is the ultimate shadow work. The need to explain is the need to control the other person's perception of you. Give up that control. Let them think you are arrogant. Let them think you are stupid. Let them think you are cold. It does not matter. Their opinion is not your reality. Recall the wisdom of Sun Tzu. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. By remaining formless, by refusing to give your enemy a handle to grab onto, you become invincible. You assume the properties of water. You flow where you wish, and no one can pin you down. This path is not easy. It requires a crushing of the ego. It requires you to kill the part of you that screams, "Look at me, understand me." But the reward is a level of gravity that few men ever possess. You will walk into a room, and the room will reorient itself around your silence. You will speak, and men will listen, because they know you do not speak in vain. Cautious silence is the holy of holies of worldly wisdom. Gratian told us, "Guard your tongue as you would guard your life, for in many ways it is your life. The world is noisy. Be the void. The work is yours to do."